All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS to give us his truth and Holy Spirit. And salutations to all you out can preaching this word throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Yahweh. And the topic of this lesson will be touching, how Esau pretty much is the end of the rulership of the heathens, the end of this world, as it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, which is the end of an age, the end of the age of the heathens ruling. And we know, according to the book of Daniel, the scriptures say that, the matter of fact, let me see, I think it says the kingdom shall not be left to no other people. Yep, this is Daniel 2 and 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven, right? When you read that whole chapter is going into the statue that, represents different kingdoms, different empires that would rise and fall. The head of gold, which is the Babylonians, and what is it, the breast of silver, which is the Persians. I think the thigh of brass, which is the Greeks, and then the legs of iron mixed with miry clay, which represents the Romans, and basically NATO and the EU. America and NATO is Rome revived. So now it's going into what's going to happen after these empires rise and fall. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Yeah, all ancient empires, had a rise and fall. And right now we're living in the downfall of America and Babylon the Great, right? And on average, empires lasted about 250 years as far as having global dominance, world dominance in their era. Well, America is on its 248th year. Not saying that, we got 2 years left. It could be a year left. It could be 2, 3 years. It could be, only the Lord knows the day. But, 250 years is like the average, It doesn't have to be specifically that. But America is crumbling as we speak, and you can see all the signs of it. They're losing their hegemony, the grip, the power that they had over the world for all these centuries. Nations are not respecting them anymore. All right. So in the kingdom, when the Israelites are established, that is not going to be the case. It's not going to be, um, a fall for us. You know, the scriptures talk about how there's nothing new under the sun. Basically empires are reincarnated. The thing that has been, it is that we shall be. You know, and that which is done is that we shall be done. There's nothing new under the sun. It's not going to be the case for us. Once the kingdom of heaven is established, it's going to be forever because Yahweh Shah is coming to rule forever, and he's going to make the Israelites immortal, right? Give them new bodies that are unable to sin. So if we're unable to sin, the Most High won't need to take us down as a people. And the blessings of Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter, from the first verse to the 14th verse, is going to befall us, So it says, in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Yeah, so it's going to stand forever, For eternity, Israel is going to rule, right? And before that take place, the heathens have to go down. And the heathens are going to go down by the hands of Yahweh Shai through Esau. Esau is going to be the last remaining heathen to rule the earth in the last days. And that's how you know that the so-called white man is not Japheth, because Japheth was not prophesied to rule in the last days, man. So this is Luke chapter 21, verse 24. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, which is talking about the Israelites, and that's what happened to us in 70 AD, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and that happened in 70 AD. When you read the book from Babylon to Timbuktu, it goes into how the slave markets were full of black Jew slaves, and that happened on a greater scale when the transatlantic slave trade came about. Before that, it was a trans-Saharan slave trade. So we were sold to the nations, man. It says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So Jerusalem is being trodden of Gentiles, and that's who is in the land today. Not the people that's calling themselves the chosen people with the small hats. Those are not Israelites, man. They're Gentiles. And this is why they reject the New Testament, because the New Testament exposes them as not being the true Israelites. The New and the Old Testament exposes them, you know. But the New Testament go in depth. You know, Revelation 3 and 9, Revelation 2 and 9 goes into how the people that would say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, you know. So they're Gentiles. So you got the Arabs over there, you know, and those people, the J-ish people, fighting over a land that don't even belong to them. It says, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. The times of the Gentiles is about to be fulfilled, meaning the world is about to end. The age of the heathens ruling. That's why we read that in Daniel 2 and 44 that says how, you know, the kingdom is not going to be left to other people. Now it's the age of the Israelites ruling until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now, let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. It says, um, verse 7, 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So this is Ezra asking about the end of the first age, the end of the age of the heathens ruling, and the beginning of it that followed, the beginning of Jacob ruling. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is the end of the world. Esau is the end of the age of the heathens ruling, and Jacob is the end of the age to come. That's why Israel is known as a world without end, an age without end, you know, or empire or rulership that's never going to end. Daniel 2 and 44, once again, the kingdom is not going to be left to other people. You see? So Jacob's hand, no, I'm sorry, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now, real quick, let me go to the book of Obadiah, Obadiah, verse 15. It says, for the day of the Lord is laid upon all the heathen, right? And this whole book of Obadiah is going into the judgment of the Edomites, the so-called white race. So now, after, you know, it lays down all the judgment of Esau, now it's speaking to all the heathen. Right? It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Because all the heathens got together with the so-called white man to take down the Israelites. You know, when you read Psalms, I think it's the 83rd chapter, you know, it goes into the conglomerate of nations that came together, you know, to join Esau in our downfall. It says the tabernacle of Edom, you know, Ishmael, Moab, and it names every other nation that's not an Israelite, right? So they all aided him in taking us down, and they all partaken of his kingdom. You know, they all became rich through the abundance of the delicacies of Babylon the Great, like it says in Revelation the 18th chapter. So they all became great off of our backs, you see? So the Lord said, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So those curses came upon us through you. So now those curses are going to come upon you through us. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. The same things you did to us. You put us in captivity. You did all these atrocities unto our people. Those same things is going to befall you times 1,000. It says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So um, as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, you became rich off the backs of Israel. You know, the curses said that um, our enemies basically would get up above us very high wherever we dwell. You see these gooks, you know, these coolies, Elamites, you know, these different nations, they come from wherever they come from, and they come to America and fulfill the American dream off of our backs. They come to our neighborhoods, get loans to have, you know, their stores, you know. So you're drinking upon Israel. Now you all gonna drink continually. And the drink that you're gonna drink is the cup of affliction, right? It says, and they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Yeah, so you're gonna be as though you had not been. That means in the kingdom of heaven, ain't nobody gonna remember the Babylonian kingdom. You know, yeah, we're gonna have history, but it's not gonna be a thought of, you know, where it's taught in schools and I mean, in the kingdom, it ain't gonna be schools among us. You know, the heathens, they're gonna have their schools of learning going into history, but you know, our kingdom is gonna be the major. what's remembered. You know, Esau's kingdom, Babylon the Great. After a couple thousand years, man, it's just gonna be an afterthought. You know, so they shall be as though they had not been. Ain't nobody gonna remember the dominance that Esau has over the world right now. You know, it says, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions." And now, what's our possessions? The Lord said, "What? Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession." So our possession is the whole entire planet Earth, including the people that's in it. It's our world, and these heathens just live in it, man. It says, "In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble." And this is going after the 1,000 years of servitude that they're gonna send, that they're gonna serve. It says, "In the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh shall have spoken it." So it's not gonna be any Caucasians left, because there's no more need for you. The reason the Lord raised you up, like it says in Proverbs 16:4, the Lord hath made the wicked for the day of evil. So after the day of evil is done and you serve your punishment, there's not going to be any more need for you. Now you fulfilled all the wickedness you had to. You fulfilled your purpose. And now the Lord is going to get rid of it. Right? So now Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17, it says, "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end." So Israel is an age without end, non-ending. And that's literal. That means for eternity. We could talk a trillion years from now, which is far-fetched to most people. A trillion years from now, Israel is still gonna be alive and well and ruling. We're not gonna have enemies taking us down. We're not gonna have any kryptonite. Our kryptonite is sin. So once we get the new bodies, we're not gonna go off. So it's not gonna be any need for the Lord to put us in bondage anymore, man. You know, this is it, man. And the Lord is showing us all the signs. This is why this devil right now he's scrambling with the whole situation with Iran and the Middle East and Russia. Esau spread out thin. He don't know what to do. He don't know where to put himself, man. You know, he about to get himself into something they can get out of, man. That's why the scriptures say the pride of your heart have deceived you, man. You thinking that you're gonna be the Lord is gonna have you be successful with Iran as you've been successful with those other Arab countries, but it's not gonna be the case, man. Like the scriptures say, I think in Jeremiah, "I have laid a snare for thee, and thou was unaware." You know, you don't realize the Lord done set your ass up, man. You see, so you're gonna go over there to Iran. Israel bombed Iran and Lebanon, and Iran now they say they're gonna strike back. You know, and once that happens, World War III is going to happen. It's going to keep escalating, man. And it's a very interesting time to be, right around the time for the election, man. So they could just pass the war on into whoever's coming up next. And Lord's will it'll be Donald Trump, which is Nero, and he's going to pop things off, man. You know? And yeah, with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Yahweh. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS that give us the truth and the spirituality. And salutations to all Yakim pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth, necessary and the truth.